What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and some very important things involving the price action for this company. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis, talk about the overall stock market and how this may affect Tesla going forward into next week, and whether we're going to see some more green or red based off probability. I'm also going to talk about some pieces of news coming out affecting Tesla, which may or may not actually be true. So I'm going to clarify the truth for you guys because we are still seeing many major news sources basically taking things out of context and not spreading the truth about what's going on with Tesla. I also have other big updates involving the Tesla Gigafactory in Berlin and what Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend Elon Musk has been tweeting about, as we have some major updates involving the full self-driving beta technology, a new update, Mexican expansion as well for Tesla, and other big things that are coming out that make me very bullish for the future of this company. Now, before I say anything about Elon Musk's tweets, before I say anything about what's going on with the news and Tesla's share price, I do have to mention some very important things first. First off, I'm not a financial planner. This is all for educational purposes only, so please do not take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're not only going to qualify for up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500, but you're also going to have the opportunity to win up to $200,000 as Moomoo is giving it away for the new year. So if you want a chance to win $200,000 and you want up to 5 free stocks, check out the link down below, deposit $100 into a Moomoo account, and you will have that opportunity. With that out of the way, guys, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, guys, what I told you guys yesterday was I did see a big jump today. That is what ended up happening. However, guys, right now we're in a very capricious state. So the market right now is starting to rebound a little bit compared to the big drops that we saw in the past. And it's looking a little bit better, which did bring in some momentum for Tesla. Now, in turn, guys, it was basically Amazon that had a very good earnings report. Obviously, their earnings per share was a little bit skewed, but it definitely looked really good to investors. And it did actually have a ripple effect on the market. So the earnings did have a big effect on the market, like we talked about previously. And for next week, we don't see too many very negative catalysts that can really cause the market to take a big hit. In fact, it does look like the market wants to start recovering. So Tesla is gaining a lot of positive momentum to help it move to the upside. I'm going to actually bring up some technical indicators to talk about that in a little bit more detail. But let me bring up the 1 day chart and the 1 minute candles first. Now let's look at the VWAP real quick and check this out, guys. We were above the VWAP for the large majority of the day, which is a very bullish signal, so to speak. Now, this is a good sign for Tesla because once we gain that momentum, we often like to run and run and run. But the thing about Tesla is that, look, we were in a falling wedge pattern, and I can't necessarily say that we're necessarily out of this formation just yet. RSI picked up a little bit to 52, and right now the MACD kind of flipped with the 9-day moving average, but now it's starting to like kind of show more and more good momentum to the upside. So what does this mean for the share price going into next week? Right now, it's very tough to call. I would have been super bullish, and I am still bullish for the grand scheme of things. But remember, guys, remember this inverse head and shoulders appears to have formed, but there's one issue, and that is there's this gap right here. You guys see this gap? I'm going to release another video and go into more detail about this because this is actually significant. So typically gaps have to be filled, and there is a chance that we may have to drop one last time before running up. But the thing is, it doesn't have to happen like overnight. It doesn't have to happen this week. It could happen maybe in a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Sometimes gaps take forever, but typically, guys, it probably needs to get filled within the next 30 days or so. But for the future, guys, it doesn't mean we have to crash because then we may have already completed this inverse head and shoulders formation. They don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. So we may have already completed it, and we are showing signs of us trying to break out of this falling wedge formation. So we were on this channel that was bringing us down and down and down, and we're starting to kind of show signs of breaking out of it. Now, I don't truly know what's going to happen to the market on Monday, right? Because anything could really happen, guys. Some big announcement could come from the Fed that could cause us to dip, which is why the market's in a very capricious state. But based off probability, considering that Tesla has a lot of bullish momentum right now, it seems a lot more probable that we're going to see a little bit more green going into next week, and we should actually start running even higher and higher and higher, and we may start bouncing by like $10 a day relatively soon. So Like I said before, take that with a grain of salt. I am going to actually break this analysis down in a little bit more detail in another video, but I do want to talk about other pieces of news first. So, the thing about Tesla, like I said, it's more probable we're going to have some more green going forward, but I don't truly know I can make that claim because it depends on the market too. And the market is in a very unpredictable state because anything could really go down. But like I said, I'm a little bit more bullish going into next week, and we'll see how that turns out. But, anyways, let's talk about the news. Okay, right now, guys, we're seeing a lot of big articles coming out about how Tesla recalls this many vehicles. I talked about this in my previous video, but I wanted to reiterate this, guys. This is misleading. This news is misleading. Is it a true recall? Maybe a Tesla recall is a Tesla recall, but it's not the same thing as a typical recall because the way they fix this is not by bringing all the cars in or doing anything like that. They fix this by just giving a software update. That's all it is, guys. It's just a software update that fixes it. So I feel like what these articles need to say is a 817,000 vehicle software recall is needed, right? It's not even mentioning it in that context. So when people read these headlines, it could lead to a lot more FUD, things that are not true, different feelings, even though the truth is it's just a software update that fixes it. It's not as extreme as this article may make it seem in the headline. So I wanted to clarify that one last time just briefly. If you want more details about this, check out my video from yesterday. And anyways, let's talk about this right here. So I also want to talk about the data that just came out once this loads, and the data is basically suggesting that this right here, it was reported by Cox Automobile that Tesla sold an impressive 352,000 cars in the United States last year. Once again, a very big surge compared to how many they actually sold in 2020. So this is just another indicator that's very bullish news in my opinion, and that is the fact that the EV sector in America is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And over time, guys, I want to inform you guys of something very important involving data. Tesla's share of the EV sector is going to drop a little bit, even if their numbers get better, because it's not that Tesla's not doing well. It's just that big companies out there like BMW, like Porsche, like Toyota, other big companies are also going to be selling EV cars. So when they entered this big race, guys, Tesla may only have a smaller percentage of the share, but that doesn't matter at all because what matters most is the actual numbers, the real numbers, and those are going to get better and better and better over time. The reason I'm informing you guys about this now is so that you remember this if you ever see any news articles coming out about their share going a little bit down. It doesn't matter, guys. Don't fall for FUD out there. Now, another big update that just came out is the fact that the Tesla Gigafactory Berlin has new graffiti art as the battery cell building is taking its form. So we're still waiting on production. I am giving you guys as many updates as I can. They haven't fully started production just yet, but they are starting to really make it look pretty by adding some graffiti art, which looks pretty inspiring, and other things like that. So we're just waiting for final approvals. It's going to take a little bit of time. And once it starts, guys, it's going to be super bullish for Tesla. Once they start producing, guys, their numbers are going to get better. Their revenue is going to kill it. Their EPS is going to get better. And in my opinion, it's going to be some very good news. Now, looking at this source right here called Inverse, we look at the best selling electric cars of 2021. I believe it's just for the United States. And look at this down here. Number 8, we have the Porsche Taycan. If you keep going down, there you have Audi, we have Nissan. And if we go all the way to the bottom, guys, all the way down, number 2 is the Tesla Model 3. You might think, wait, why is it number 2? It should be number 1. Well, don't worry, guys. Even though it's number 2, look at number 1, the Tesla Model Y. So don't be scared if you saw a Tesla in number 2. Tesla's also in number 1 because we're talking about the models. Yeah, and the Tesla Model Y is crushing it, guys. They're absolutely killing it. I mean, they're selling hundreds of thousands of these across the globe. They sold like 190,000 in the US alone. And it also stated that 72% of the EV share in the US market comes from Tesla. So that's pretty insane, guys. They're absolutely killing it. And this was the number 1 car of the year 2021, according to the source, which is very awesome for EVs. So anyways, I also want to talk about this right here. We have another big, very bullish update that came out from Electric because this is going to impact Tesla's numbers, their production, and other things like that. So once this loads, I want to talk about what this actually means. So basically, Tesla has applied to build a giant new cathode factory for the battery production next to the Gigafactory in Texas. Why is this bullish news? Because this is going to boost their battery production as well. There's going to be a huge demand for batteries in the future, And this is also very, very bullish news because who knows what else they're going to do with this? They could expand their business model, they could actually enter different fields, different sectors, and this will also improve their production numbers, which is also very good news. Once again, guys, more and more production most likely will lead to better numbers in the future. And as numbers get better and better and better, they could hopefully beat expectations and really push their share price up because of pieces of news like this. Now, to end the video, I want to talk about the big updates from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Elon Musk. Basically, it was reported that the full self-driving beta 10.10 or 10.1 is rolling out now. Goodbye, rolling stops. It was a good 15 months. Hope to see you again one day. So that's a funny joke they just made. Elon Musk responded with a crying emoji and he's joking around. But this is actually something that's pretty awesome, guys. And the reason why I keep on repeating this, I keep on showing you guys what Elon Musk keeps tweeting about, and that is the full self-driving technology. This is going to be absolutely huge in the future. It already is huge. So the two things you have to notice that we're not necessarily there yet to be fully autonomous. We're just simply making progress day in and day out. Once again, there's no company in the world like Tesla that's doing it as well as them, and they're getting better and better and better. On top of that, guys, think about the share price, because I know you guys watched this video because you're interested in Tesla's share price too. The share price is going to improve dramatically, in my opinion, because of technology like this, because the cars are AIs and they're innovating different sectors out there. This is really going to improve the lives of people that are disabled, for instance, people who have disabilities, people who cannot drive. Having a car do it for you is going to be very awesome. It may even be safer in the future going forward, as the cars could really brake at better times. So that's very good news. Elon Musk also tweeted about this. So Tesla owners in Mexico stated that any chance we get more red dots here, and they circled Mexico. It's a part of Mexico, and maybe I don't know if they intentionally did this or if it was unintentional, but they're also circling a part of Texas and Arizona. But I think the main intention was Mexico, right? And Elon Musk responded with a 100 emoji. So my point is, Elon Musk is constantly looking into being more ambitious, expanding even more, bringing more and more people to be incentivized to buy more Teslas, which in turn is going to improve the business model, the environment in the future, and also their share price. You have to remember that. I know this doesn't sound as big as many people may think, but this is actually going to be huge in the future as they're getting bigger and expanding with more service stations and more places for the Tesla owners in Mexico to really acquire their, the better things that they need. So it's going to be awesome for Tesla. It's going to be very good for their business model, and it just shows how ambitious Elon Musk is. I also want to end the video now by talking about this right here. A final tweet came from this right here. Tasmanian stated that Tesla publishes a patent for global headlamps customizable to all countries' requirements. Once again, that's very awesome news, and Elon Musk responded with a bigger win than it may seem. So you guys have to remember that different countries have different requirements for headlamps, and they could be adjusted in all sorts of different ways. I'm not going to go into the full details about that, but now Tesla is basically it's going to have its own patent, right? So you could customize them for the country's requirements. That's very bullish news. It's going to be very awesome, and this actually helps with their global expansion even more as they do start expanding all over the world. Eventually, we're going to see a lot of Teslas in South America, in my opinion, maybe in many years in the future. Also, we're going to see them more in Mexico and Latin America. They're eventually probably going to be expanding to India in the future one day too, but we're going to see them way more commonly throughout Europe and the USA and even China and other countries. I mean, they're getting bigger and bigger, and that's why it's very important for them to keep the ability for them to be customized to these different requirements for these different countries. So that's what I'm trying to say, guys. Very bullish news for the future. This makes them a lot more usable and more needed, which makes me very excited. So I'm very bullish for the future of this company. But for the short term, guys, it's very hard for me to make a perfect call, because right now we're starting to break out of this wedge, right? The trend we were in, which looks super bullish. But like I told you guys, there is still this gap right here. So it could really go either way. But I do think that because we have this bullish momentum as indicated by the MACD, and because of the fact that, look, we're so oversold, if you were to look at this over the long term, we're very oversold compared to before. I mean, we were at 1200 just like within 6 weeks ago. We were at the 1200s. Now we're as low as like the 900s. So I do think this thing wants to run, guys. I do think this thing really wants to rally. And once we get to that point, once I can confirm that we're out of this downward trend, it's going to run very hard. And I do think it's coming closer and closer as time goes on. The market is unpredictable, but that's what I think can end up happening. And I'm still very bullish regardless of what happens in the short term. I'm super bullish for the long term. I can't wait for what the future holds. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for listening. So please have a fantastic weekend, guys. I thank each and every one of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.